right, Shalom. Before I get into my lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, of great millstone, and Shalom to the elect. All right, so this is going to be a quick, basic lesson, all right, on the topic, whenever the Hebrew Israelites battle against these Christians, the topic of who salvation is for always comes up, man. All right. And today, Lord willingly, I'm going to get into a couple of scriptures in the Old and in the New Testament showing you that, okay, salvation is only for the nation of Israel, man. Which the nation of Israel, or the Israelites, consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians, are the 12 tribes. All right. Because contrary to popular belief, we've been lied to as far as who we are as a nation, our nationality, our history, thinking that we just, thinking that we're Africans and we're this and we're that, which really, when you go into biblical prophecy, as well as true secular history, you come to find out that the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, man. All right, and salvation, which is basically not only being saved from our sins because we broke the laws, all right, but also salvation is being saved from the destruction that's coming, all right, because America's going to be destroyed, all right, by thermonuclear fire, and salvation is only meant for a particular remnant of Israelites. But overall, in the kingdom to come, the Israelites are going to be the ruling nation, so to speak, all right. And I'm gonna just get into a few scriptures real quick, and this is I'm gonna start in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, in verse 5, all right? And this prophecy hasn't come to pass yet, all right? So this is a future prophecy. It says, Jeremiah 23:5, behold, the days come, all right? And we're living in those days now, all right? Saith the Lord, Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper. And this righteous branch and this king is talking about Yahweh Shai, okay, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And by the way, he's a so-called black man, okay, not the so-called white man picture that we all see, which is Caesar Borgia, okay. So this king that's going to reign on the earth is talking about Yahweh Shai, all right. It says, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. All right, now here's the point, verse 6, in his days Judah shall be saved. Now, who's Judah represent? Judah represents the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is you so-called Negroes, you so-called Haitians, and you so-called West Indians, man. And it says, and Israel shall dwell safely. Israel represents the rest of the tribes, all right, such as Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, all right, what you would say the so-called Native Indians and the so-called Spanish tribes, all right, the so-called Spanish-speaking tribes. It says, I read again, verse 6, in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. All right, yeah, and that's talking about Yahweh Shai, the Lord our righteousness. And he's going to be the one that's going to come to save us, Lord willing, we are part of the elect, all right, from the destruction to come. All right, as a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I didn't have it on deck, but let me get that real quick. It just came to mind. First Thessalonians 1 and verse 9. It says, for they them I'm starting at 9. It says, for they themselves show of us what manner of entering in we had unto you. And now ye turn to the Most High from idols to serve the living and true God. And ultimately, that's what we did. All right, we who are in this truth, who was once in the world, we was in Christianity. Some of us were Muslims. Some of us, were into Africanism and all sorts of things. But what did we do? We turned from our idols that we was worshiping, and we worship the living and true God, all right, which is the God of the Bible. His name is Yahweh, all right. So it says, verse 10, and to wait for his son. Yeah, no, it's a waiting game. It's a game of patience, all right. And who's the son of the living and true God? Again, it's Yahweh Shai, all right. It says, and to wait for his son from heaven, because that's how Yahweh Shai is gonna make his return. All right, when you read Acts the first chapter, when Yahweh Shai left the disciples and he got beamed up into what you would call a spaceship, all right, or a UFO. The angel said, basically paraphrasing to the disciples and the apostles, why do ye marvel? For the Son of Man, the same way you see him leave, this is how he's gonna make his return. Roughly paraphrasing. So he's gonna come from the heavens, all right, and what the world deems so-called UFOs, all right? It says, verse 10 again, and to wait for his son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, even Yahweh Shai, which delivered us from the wrath to come. So really, the elect is already saved. It just hasn't played out on the earth yet. But through the Spirit, the elect is already sealed. The elect is already protected. You know, pursuant to Ephesians, the first chapter, the fourth verse, all right, these elect men were already predestinated for salvation, as well as women and children, all right? That's where the 1/3 comes in it, all right? Men, women, and children, but there's a particular body of men, which is the 144,000, that's already delivered from the wrath to come, and that's through our Lord Yahweh Shai, okay? So I'm going to go back to Jeremiah 23:6. I'm gonna read this verse 6 again. It says, in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is the name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. And just to point out, it didn't mention no other nations, all right, in that verse, man. It didn't say Edom shall be saved, you know, the heathen shall be saved right along with you, you know. That's not there, man. It says Judah and Israel, man, which is all 12 tribes. Okay, that's who salvation is for, man. All right, so let's go from there to the book of, let's see, let's go to Psalms, the 130th chapter, and starting at verse 7. Yeah, I started verse 7 to get right to the point. It says, Psalms 130:7, let Israel hope in the Lord. There it goes again, Israel, man. Who's the Israelites? You so-called blacks, so-called African Americans, Negroes, so-called Hispanics, Native American and Seminole Indians, man. That's who Israel's talking about when you read the scriptures. And not talking about, you know, those people over there in the land of Israel faking the funk, man. All right, those are goddamn phonies and imposters. All right, verse 7 again, let Israel hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is mercy, and with him is plenteous redemption. You see, now being saved and being redeemed, it goes hand in hand. It's pretty much like the same word, being bought back, you know? So that redemption or being redeemed or saved out of this world is only meant for the Israelites. All right, verse 8, and he shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities. Why? And what is iniquity? Iniquity is sin. Okay, and pursuing the 1 John, the 3rd chapter and the 4th verse, sin is the transgression of the law. Who was the law given to, man? The law was given to the Israelites via Moses. All right, when you read the book of Exodus, Deuteronomy, the book of Numbers, so forth and so on. So the only ones who technically bear sin are the Israelites, man. That's why we have to be saved from our sins, and we have to receive the mercy from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so let's go from there. Let's get another precept. Let's go to let's go to Obadiah, and we're going to read the 17th verse. All right. This is This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse, matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 15. All right, since we mentioned the heathens, okay. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. You know, yeah, who's the heathen, man? The heathen is the other nations. Okay, starting with Esau, Edom, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Hamites. All right, these are the other nations on the earth today, man. All right, the so-called white man, you know, the so-called Chinese man, the so-called Japanese man, nations outside of Israel. All right, it says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. It says, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. All right, and what did the nation do to the Israelites, man? They spoiled us. You know, they put us in captivity. You know, they forced us to basically worship they gods, forced us into spiritual adultery. You know, they put us in slavery. They raped, robbed, and murdered us, especially the so-called white man. Don't even get me started on that. You know, pursuing what's that? I'm gonna say it's Isaiah the 33rd chapter. Woe to thee woe to thee that spoilest when thou was not spoiled. All right, that's talking about you heathen nations, man. You know, it says, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Yeah, just like it says in Colossians the 3rd chapter. It says, roughly paraphrasing, he shall receive wrong for the wrong which he have done. There's no respect to person. So you gotta pay, man. You know, for all of the crimes, all the atrocities, the calamities that you brought to the Israelites, you gotta pay for that. You know, it says, thy reward shall return upon thine own head. All right, and that reward that you're gonna get, it's not gonna be no crown. You know, it's not gonna be another 400 years to rule on the earth and wickedness. No, that reward is gonna be death, destruction, slavery. Okay, getting your ass beat in the kingdom, man. You know, it says 16, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, which the holy mountain is talking about the Israelites, it says, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink and they shall swallow down and they shall be as though they have not been. Meaning what? You got to drink of that cup of destruction. The cup that we had to bear, the cup that we had to drink on this side, and throughout all our previous captivities. You know, you nations got to drink that cup. Okay, and the so-called white man, you going to get the greater portion, man, because you've done the most wickedness. Okay, now it says, verse 17, here's the point. But, all right, but upon Mount Zion, which Mount Zion is another alias for you Israelites, you tribes, it says, shall be deliverance. It says, and, matter of fact, now, for that word deliverance, in my Bible, they have another word here. It says salvation. So upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and upon Mount Zion should be salvation. It don't get much clearer than that, man. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. Meaning what? We're going to be separated. We're going to be purified and separated from, you know, the filth in this world, the wickedness of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. And we're going to be pure in the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right? It says, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. You see that? So we're gonna possess the world, man. All right? We're going to possess the world. We're going to possess you nations. You know? Pursuant to, I want to say that's Psalms chapter 2. Let me get that real quick. You know, it's clear as day. And if you can't get it, then that's on you, man. You know, it's clear as day in the scriptures who salvation is for. This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. You see that? So the possessions are going to be you other nations and the earth. All right, because pursuing the 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, the earth was created for the sake of the Israelites, man. The whole world was created for our sakes, man. So we're gonna get that all back. And then more some, okay? Okay, I'm gonna end it off. I didn't want to make the video too long. I'm gonna get a scripture out the New Testament. All right, for you Christian jabronis out there. How come they don't read out the New Testament? Well, I'm gonna read it now. All right. This is Luke chapter 1 in verse 68. It says, "Blessed be the Lord power of Israel." You see that? So the God, that's one thing you gotta understand too. The God of the Bible is not the God of the world. You know, the God of the Bible is not the God of the so-called white man, the Edomites or the Moabites. He's the God of Israel, man. All right, the God of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. It says, "Blessed be the Lord power or God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed." All right, that word redeemed again. His people. Now, who's the Most High's people? The Israelites. Okay. It says 69, "And have raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David." I mean, that's clear. Verse 70, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets," which we read the prophets. All right, we read the book of Jeremiah. You know, we read the book of Psalms because King David was a prophet. Okay, we read the book of Obadiah. And there's more scriptures to get. I just didn't get to them for the sake of time. All right, it says, verse 70, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets." And by the way, the prophets are back, man. All right, the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, they're back on earth again, okay, to break the scriptures down. The same things that they written in the past, thousands of years ago, they're back on earth today to break them down, and it's still prophesy, man. Prophesy against Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay? It says, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we, all right, should be saved from our enemies." You see that? So salvation, part of salvation is being saved from our enemies, man. Who's our enemies? The other nations. Okay? Beginning with Esau, Edom. Okay? Esau, Edom is our arch nemesis. Okay, according to the scriptures. You go back to Genesis 25. All right, Jacob and Esau, they was rumbling in the womb, man. They was getting it on, fighting. All right, and that enmity, that rivalry, that feud is still here today, man. You know, so we gotta be saved. We gotta be saved from you devils, man. And it's gonna take, as they say, divine intervention for us to escape you, man. Okay? It says 71, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. And that's clear. All right, who hates us in this world, man? It's you other nations. Especially, you got to bring it back to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You know? So I'm gonna sign off there. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying. I know it was a milky, basic lesson. It was just on my spirit to go into this, man, because hey, it's nothing you Christians can come against his word, can do to come against his word, man. The scriptures is clear, you know. And by the way, the Gentiles you read about, which that might be a topic for another day, the Gentiles you read about, where it speaks about the Gentiles receiving salvation and all of that, that's still talking about Israelites, man, because you had Israelites that over the course of time and through the course of the scattering, they took liking unto the other nations, worshiping their gods, dressing like them, keeping their customs. So therefore, they were categorized as Gentiles also. But those are Israelites, man. You know, so you still can't get in there. Okay? You're done. But anyway, you know, Lord willing, that was edifying, giving them praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem, Yahushai, B'Shem, Rakha, Kodash. Lord willing, to the next lesson. Shalom.